Hello everyone, myself is Savitha Kotyan. Welcome to MUB classes associated with Saint Philomena College and News Kadaba. In last class we discussed about American War of Independence, and in this class we are going to discuss about French Revolution. Revolution took place in France in the year 1789, soon after American War of Independence. The thing is, why a revolution broke out in France in the year 1789? It was a sudden development or a sudden process which took place in France in the year 1789. Thing is, what is the reason or what are the reason behind this revolution? See, one thing or one reason or one cause is not behind this revolution. There are number of reasons which led to this revolution or a sudden breakout of this revolution in the year 1789. We will discuss what are the reasons which led to the revolution of 1789. See, there are political reasons, economic reasons, social reasons as well as intellectual reasons. Among them, first we will discuss about political reasons. What are the political reasons or what are the political conditions which led to a revolution of 1789 in France? See, France was ruled by Bourbon dynasty in the 18th century. And this dynasty led by number of weak and wicked rulers like Louis XIV, Louis XV and Louis XVI. See, those rulers were absolute and they were centralizing power in their hands, means people were not getting any power to enjoy or to lead their life, that is minimum rights they were not getting in a society, whatever it may be. These absolute rule of these rulers of Bourbon dynasty led to a 1789 revolution. See, Louis XIV, who was a weak ruler, who went on by saying that in France one ruler and one state, that is I am the king, I am the state, means he called himself as ultimate power of France. And these absoluteness, and with this they even imposed censorship on a press, means people were far away from a news of France or a development of France or a administration of France. Means in present days, even means now we are getting information of our administration or a government or a society through media or news. But at that time, French rulers who put a restriction on a press which led to a illiteracy or ignorance of their administration to a people, means people were not getting any facts or any information about their rule because of this censorship. And more than that, they followed a divine right of kingship, means they assured or they made people to believe that they are a representative of God or a representatives of God on earth, means they must believe. See, they gave a religious example, means they are considered as a representative of God on earth, so they are sent by God because for the welfare of their subject or welfare of the citizens. So these, because of this divine right of kingship or a belief that rulers were a representative of God on earth, people were not questioning a rule or a power or a authority of a ruler. That's why he went on by exploiting people. So this exploitation become a reason behind or become a reason for a French Revolution of 1789. And then administrative inefficiency. Rulers of Bourbon dynasty were not capable, or we can say they were unfit as a ruler or unfit for the post of ruler or a king, means they were not eligible for the post of kingship or a king, means they had not capabilities or qualities. And Louis XIV, Louis XV, Louis XVI, they were rulers of Bourbon dynasty were wicked or weak rulers, and they started, or we can say they introduced varieties of laws and regulations in France. More than 400 varieties of rules and regulations were there, means based on see, each country having single rules and regulation for every citizens of a nation. But in France, 400 varieties of laws were there, means each person will get a punishment for their crimes based on their social, economic as well as their different status or a dignity in a society. So as a result of this, we can say we can see in a political field there was a inequality in a rules and regulation, or we can can say a bundle of rules and regulation were there, but based on a status and position of a people. So as a result of this, a whole system of rules and regulation, or we can say a constitution, was in a confusion, because people were not getting a similar punishment for a similar crime. That's why there we can see a confusion in our administrative field. Then next one, rule of Louis XVI. Louis XVI was a ruler who was there in a power when a revolution started in France, that is in the year 1789. He was very weak ruler and always assisted by his wife, or we can say she is a foolish queen of France. She is a Mary Antoinette. She was an Austrian princess who was married to a Louis XVI, and she was always interfering in administrative aspects of France. And more than that, she was manipulating Louis XVI in his administrative steps, and almost all the decision, we can say Louis XVI was puppet in the hands of Mary Antoinette. So these are few causes, or a few political causes, or a political reasons, or we can say a political development which led to a French Revolution in the year 1789. Then this is about political causes, we can say. I can repeat, that is absolute rule of rulers of Bourbon dynasty, and weak successors of Bourbon dynasty, that is absolutely Louis XIV, 15th and 16th, and rule of Louis XVI and administrative inefficiency. These become a cause for the revolution of 1789. And next is accept this political cause. See, political cause is not only single reason behind a French Revolution. With this, there are number of reasons. As I said in the beginning, there are number of reasons which led to the revolution of 1789. So except political causes, there were social causes too. Which are the social causes which led to this revolution of 1789? See, even in a modern days, in our society we can see a different caste, a different religion, which divides our people based on their religion or their faith or belief. So at that time, France society was divided into two classes, that is privileged class and unprivileged class, based on their social and economic status. See, privileged section of people which consist, or privileged class consisting two estates of people, that is nobles and clergies. May you know, nobles are people who are belonging to a army or a military field, and with these army members or a military field, even royal family or a royal people who are belongs to this section. And next one, clergies. Clergies are a people who are associated with a church, means church authority, pope or administrative authorities of a church. These two section or these two estates, that is nobility and clergies, comes under a privileged section. And another section, that is unprivileged section, under which we can see a people of different professions, for example teachers, doctors, lawyers, more than that farmers or peasants we can see under this section. And what is the difference between this privileged and unprivileged section? Because this difference led to a revolution of 1789, or we can say this difference become a social cause for this revolution. What is the difference? See, privileged section of people were enjoying number of privileges in a society. Means they were minority in number, but they had 75% of France land or a French land in their control. Means they were enjoying a land or a wealth or a property of France, even though they were in minority. They were minority in a number. See, and more than that, they were not only enjoying land, but also they were exempted from our taxes. No need to pay taxes to the government. Instead of that, they were collecting taxes from a people like tithe. Tithe is considered as a religious tax, especially collected by a church in France from people or from Christians, and they themselves exempted from a tax, even though they were people who were getting a much profit annually. And more than that, one more thing is they were enjoying each and every government post. Means government posts were only reserved for a noble and clergies or a class of privileged section. and opposite to that, unprivileged section of people who were majority in number, but they were not able to enjoy any privileges in a society because they were ruling class was not provided what privileges to them, means they had to pay much taxes or different types of taxes, not only for a ruler but also for a church. Say from one side church used to collect taxes from a people, and from another side ruler used to collect taxes from a people. So that's why they were exploited by both the sections, because they had to pay taxes for both the sections and they were exempted from a government post. So this inequality led to the creation of revolution, not in a society in the beginning but in the minds of French people. So as a result of this, we can say this social inequality which was existed in a society of France led to a revolution of 1789. See, in France it is said that 10 people used to die annually. Among them, if 10 people are dying in a year, estimation, that is just example, if 10 members are dying in a country, among them 9 people were dying because of starvation and hungry, means they were not able to tolerate their hungry because they were not getting food, and one used to die because of indigestion, means getting much food, means much wealth they had. Here we can say, or we can conclude that in under social causes, privileged section of people who were leading a luxurious life, who were enjoying each and every privilege of society, and privileged section of people who were forced to pay number of taxes, who were struggling to lead a simple life or to get a livelihood. So this is a reason which led to a French Revolution in 1789. So these are political and social causes. Next one, economic causes. So after discussing political and social causes, I think it's no need to discuss much about economic causes, because even in our society we are seeing social differences or social inequality which leads to a economic inequality. See, even in a France, privileged section of people who were exempted from taxes, or who were concentrated of or who were centralizing their authority over land or money or a wealth, who were enjoying good economic status, and unprivileged section of people whose standard of living was very low. So high standard of living was enjoyed by privileged section of people. As I said already, privileged section of people who were collecting different types of taxes from an unprivileged section of people. See here, economic reasons, that is a main economic reason, that is over taxation on over taxation policy which was introduced by ruling class as well as a church authority on a people, which led to a revolution of 1789, or we can say it is an economic cause which led to a 1789 revolution. See, as I said, that is a tithe was a religious tax collected by a church, except tithe, that is taille, one tax was there, that was a property tax which was collected by a ruling authority of France from peasants or from an unprivileged section. And gable, it is another type of tax, that is a salt tax, a tax which was put on or imposed on a salt, which was another tax collected by a ruling authority of France. See, not only these three taxes, number of taxes, such a taxes were imposed or collected by a ruling authority and a church authority from a common people, which led to a financial bankruptcy in France. Means we can say because of this, or because of this financial say, if we are poor, if we are illiterate, if we are not able to get a livelihood, people automatically indulge in few activities which are against our law, means illegal activities, that is not for the not against a ruler, but to collect their livelihood or for the survival they are doing that work. So in France we can say, because of this, corruption or theft increased in France because of this inequality in a economic field. And more than that, there was what number of finance ministers who were appointed by ruling class. They failed to solve the matters of France because of financial crisis which took place in France. Rulers started to take loans from other countries for a high interest, and later they were not able to repay that loan. At that time, once again they started to impose high taxes on unprivileged section of people. So at that time, to solve the matters of this economic crisis, finance ministers, like say one by one finance minister who assumed the power of France, that is Necker, Calonne, Briand, Turgot, they all of them gave a single suggestion that instead of imposing heavy taxes on unprivileged section of people, to improve our economic condition, we can impose our taxes on that is privileged section of people, because they have power and they have money, they have wealth, means they are able to pay. Instead of imposing taxes on a people who are not able to pay because they don't have money or a wealth to pay, than that we can impose taxes on people who are able to pay or who are what a center of authority. But this suggestion was ignored or opposed by privileged section of people, including a ruler. So that's why economic condition of France become worse day by day. So this economic condition led, or we can say a financial bankruptcy become an immediate cause for the French Revolution in 1789. So these are few economic causes which led to a revolution of France in the year 1789. So this is about political, social and economic causes. And one more cause or important cause, that is intellectual causes. What are the intellectual causes? You know, may you heard about the statement which was given by Joseph Mazzini, who is considered as father of Italian unification, who once said, pen is mightier than sword, means we can reach till a people through our writings than war or than an open fight. So even here in France, even though ruling authority was powerful, even though they imposed a censorship on a press, people tried their level best, or writers who tried their level best to reach till a people or to expose the administrative inefficiency or a weak administration of Bourbon rulers. So these writers are considered as our main reason behind the French Revolution of 1789. Who are those writers? There are three personalities or three intellectual personalities who influenced French people a lot. They are Montesquieu. Montesquieu was the greatest personality or greatest intellectual personality who wrote a work called The Spirit of Laws. In his book, The Spirit of Laws, he mentioned about a separation of powers. You know, in France, as I said already, Bourbon dynasty or ruler of Bourbon dynasty who concentrate or who centralized their power or we can say they centralized power and authority in their hand, or we can say a centralization of power, means they were not giving a power or authority to any other personalities, means single-handedly they were enjoying a power and authority of France. So Montesquieu, for the first time in his book A Spirit of Laws, he mentioned that for the efficient government we must divide our power among the different branches of government. So he mentioned about a separation of powers among, or division of power among the legislature, executive and judiciary. So these three wings of administration must work independently. Ruler should not interfere in these wings. So if these three wings are working separately or independently, government automatically will become success, or efficiency we can notice in a administration or government. So even say he influenced by a parliamentarian government or parliamentary system of government of England, and he opposed church authority which was existed in France. So his book or his idea about a separation of power which influenced people of France. After Montesquieu, French was led by one more intellectual personality. He is none other than Voltaire. Voltaire, who supported benevolent despotism, and he opposed monarchy or monarchical system of government. Monarchy, maybe monarchy means a rule of single authority or a single person. So he opposed monarchy or a rule of Bourbon dynasty which was existed in France, and he bitterly criticized church authority which was enjoying much power and luxury in a French society, or we can say he attacked French church authority through his book, that is he wrote a book now that is called as Letters on the English. So in his work he supported benevolent despotism, but he never supported democracy too. Means he supported only benevolent despotism, not democracy. But here Montesquieu, who supported democratic type of government, that is parliamentarian democracy, but here Voltaire, who supported benevolent despotism. And next comes most prominent personality of France, that is Rousseau. His name is J.J. Rousseau, means Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who is considered as who is known as father of French Revolution. Say, France was led by such an intellectual personality. Through his writing, he influenced our people a lot. He wrote a book known as The Social Contract. Say, he is known as father of French Revolution, and his book, The Social Contract, is known as Bible of French Revolution. And in his book, he mentioned that government, in social contract, he mentioned that government is a contract between people and ruler, or ruling class and people. Here, see, in his work, he supported democratic ideas or a right or a freedom to a people, means a watchwords of French Revolution which was put forwarded by J.J. Rousseau, that is liberty, equality, fraternity. See, in his book, he mentioned about three aspects: liberty, equality, fraternity. Means people must get, under any ruling power, people must get liberty, means freedom to enjoy or freedom to talk, freedom to assemble, freedom to do whatever they like, means legal activities, and equality in society. See, in France, we are not finding equality even in a social field, economic field, political field. So he supported equality, and fraternity means universal brotherhood. See, we must live as brothers and sisters in a society, means we must support each other in society. So this is idea of Rousseau, which influenced people of France. And in his work, he mentioned that man born free but everywhere he is in chains, means when person getting a birth, he is free to do anything, but day by day he is surrounded by rules and regulations. And with the social contract, he wrote two more works, that is the Confession and the Laws. Through his writings, he supported democratic ideas, and these ideas of Montesquieu, Voltaire and Rousseau influenced people, not only influenced people, which explored a weakness, or which throwed a light on weakness or a weak government of France which was existed at that time. So this is about intellectual causes. And one more reason I said when I was explaining about American War of Independence in our last class, that is in American War of Independence, number of French soldiers who participated, means France extended its military help to America when it was fighting against England, because at that time England and France were enemies. As a result of this, France extended its support to America. So in America, a war which was broke out in the year 1776, which was won by America, which was supported by France and Spain particularly. So in this war, France, which got a success and which was supported by or boosted by this victory, means they got success in American soil, and now they started to think why we can't fight against a weak ruler or weak government, because we can obviously we are sure we will get a success because our military is powerful. So influence or a success of American War of Independence helped them to fight against rulers or ruling party which was existed in France. So these are few causes which led to a American War of Independence. Say political causes, social causes, economic causes, and intellectual causes with influence of American War of Independence. And as I said already, financial bankruptcy or a financial crisis which emerged in France become an immediate cause for French Revolution. See, day by day they were facing a problem of financial crisis. So as a result of this, they decided to solve the matter. So this is a process of French Revolution. How process of French Revolution went means, in the year 1789 they decided to solve the matters, both privileged and unprivileged section of people. So they started to discuss how to solve this matter. So privileged section of people, they submitted their opinion, or they expressed their opinion by saying that we are three estates people, that is nobility, clergies and commoners are there, means privileged and unprivileged section of people. These three estates of people will sit separately, means each estate will sit separately, and we will introduce a voting system to conclude or to give a judgment or to solve the matter or to solve the problems. So we will provide a voting right, that is each vote for each estate, means each estate will get one voting right, means a single person will not get a right to vote. All estate people, means all the people of single estate must discuss and they must cast their vote. Means privileged section of people decided, or they submitted their view, or they expressed their view that they will sit, or each estate will sit separately, and they will provide a voting right, that is each estate will get a right to vote, that is each estate will get a right to one vote or right of one vote. Means they thought based on their will and wish or based on their profit. Means the thing is, privileged section of people consisting two estates and unprivileged section of people consisting one estate. If we are giving right of one vote to each estate, obviously privileged section of people will emerge as victorious, because they will get a right of two votes, and unprivileged section of people will get a right of one vote. But this opinion was opposed by unprivileged section of people, because it was not favorable for them. If they are introducing such a system, obviously they will lose a election, or they will not get a victory in this election. So as a result of this, they submitted their opinion, or they expressed their opinion that each estate people, means all the estates or all the citizens of France, we will sit together and we will provide a voting right, that is for each person, means each person will get a right of vote. Here same, this was a favorable system for an unprivileged section of people, because as I said already, France, which consisted 75% of unprivileged section of people and 25% of people were a privileged section of people. So if we are providing a single vote for a single person, obviously unprivileged section of people will emerge as victorious. So this opinion was opposed by privileged section of people. As a result of this, a clash which increased day by day, and in this discussion they spoiled nearly month. So as a result of this, unprivileged section of people thought that it's waste to discuss with a privileged section of people, because anyway they will not agree the opinion of unprivileged section of people. As a result of this, they decided to come out from that discussion, and they came out, but they did not get any place to assemble except that particular place where they already assembled. So as a result of this, they came outside of palace and they reached a tennis court of ruler, and they assembled there, and they took an oath in a tennis court, that is on a 20th June 1789, that is famously known as tennis court oath in the history of France. What they decided in that oath, say in that oath they decided to remove a ruler from a power, and they decided to introduce rights for for our people. So this is a thing or what happened in the tennis court oath. Soon after tennis court oath in the year 1789, June 20th, they started their revolutionary activities. A mob which attacked Bastille prison, which consisting number of prisoners, especially which consisting commoners, means as you know, there we can find a social, political, economic inequality was there. Obviously rich people, a privileged section of people will not get imprisonment or such a punishment. So that prison consisting only unprivileged section of people. So as a result of this, a mass or a group of people who made an attack to a Bastille prison in the year 1789 and July 14th, 1789, the day when a mob attacked Bastille prison and they released prisoners. And this incident is famously known as Fall of Bastille in the history of French Revolution or in the history of France. So in this way they released prisoners and they declared their independence. Even now July 14th is considered as or celebrated as Independence Day of France. After this, in the year 1789, after a fall of Bastille, they organized one ruling authority or organized National Assembly to rule France. After releasing prisoners from a Bastille or a Bastille prison, these mob or a group of people which consisting unprivileged section of people, they organized National Assembly in the year 1789 to rule over France. So a National Assembly ruled France from 1789 to 1791. So in this time they introduced or they gave a liberty for a people and a equality they brought in a society, and they ended a serfdom. Say serfs were a people who were living just a life of slaves, who were below farmers, who had no land or power or authority. They were just living as a slaves in France. So this life of the life of slavery or a life of serfs was banned by National Assembly in the year 1789. Say they banned serfdom, they introduced equality in a French society, and they provided liberty for our people. So these are few changes or a few developments which were brought by National Assembly. So the rule of National Assembly came to an end in the year 1791, and after that National Assembly was replaced by National Convention in the year 1791, and from 1792 to 1795 it was ruled by National Convention. 1792 to 1795 National Convention ruled over France, which brought few changes in France. Say for the first time they removed a monarchy or they banned a monarchy in France. They removed Louis XVI from a power. Not only they removed Louis XVI from a power, they assassinated Louis XVI. For the first time republican form of government started in France. Constitution which was introduced in France. So as a result of this, National Assembly and National Convention brought number of changes which were favorable for a unprivileged section of people. But in the year 1795, the even National Convention was replaced by Directory. Directory consisted of 5 members which ruled for 4 years from 1795 to 1799. They brought few changes which were favorable for commoners or unprivileged section of people. But in the year 1799, very turning point, we can say a turning point of France we can see, or a turning point we can see in the history of France in the year 1799, that is the emergence of Napoleon Bonaparte. In the year 1799 France started, or we can say the year 1799 is a beginning of Napoleonic era. In the year 1799, Directory of 5 members was replaced by Napoleon Bonaparte. See, we are not seeing any bloodshed or a big war when Napoleon Bonaparte came to a power. See, when Napoleon Bonaparte arrived with the army to France, at that time without any bloodshed he assumed the power and authority of France. As a result of this, we can call Napoleon Bonaparte as a child of revolution and a destroyer of revolution. Say he assumed a power of France soon after the revolution or soon after the end of revolution in the year 1799. So he started his rule in the year 1799 and ruled till 1815, and the year 1815 which is known for a battle of Waterloo, that is a last battle of Napoleon Bonaparte where he lost his power and authority. So we can conclude that in the year 1799, with the emergence of Napoleon Bonaparte, a revolution of France came to an end. Generally, results of revolution, say we can see end of monarchy in France, end of rule of Bourbon dynasty in France, and we can see our assassination of Louis XVI. More than that, in the year 1793 to 94, one incident took place in France in the process of French Revolution, that is famously known as Reign of Terror. See, when Louis XVI was assassinated, that is same period he was assassinated. See, why we are calling this reign of this period as Reign of Terror means, see, in this period, in the year 1793 to 94, mad violence broke out in France, that is, which was headed by Robespierre. He started to kill people who were, we can say, we can, instead of word kill, we can use guillotine. He started to guillotine people of France who were opposing a revolution in France in the year from 1789. So in this process, he became such a mad personality. Later he started to guillotine people who were not only who were not opposer or we can say opponents of French Revolution, but also opponents of Robespierre, who and all opposing Robespierre. He started to guillotine them. Means guillotine means he used a machine, that is guillotine, to kill people. So in the month of September, he killed lakhs of people. That's why this incident is also known as September Massacre. Anyway, this Reign of Terror came to an end. See, in this process or in the process of Reign of Terror, they assassinated Louis XVI. That is one result of French Revolution. This Reign of Terror came to an end with the assassination of Louis XVI. So this Reign of Terror took place in the process of French Revolution, and in this process Louis XVI was assassinated. Even Mary Antoinette was assassinated. It is one of the biggest result of French Revolution. So monarchy was ended, rule of Bourbon dynasty came to an end, a constitution which was introduced in France, republican form of government introduced in France, that is in the process of French Revolution, and the emergence of Napoleon Bonaparte is considered as one of the prominent result of this revolution. And we can see watchwords of French Revolution, that is liberty, equality and fraternity, got a prominent place not only in the history or not only in France but also in the world. So these are few results of French Revolution. Now we come to the conclusion of this part or French Revolution. My suggestion is, if you have any doubt or if you have any suggestions, you can put it in a comment section, and you can give more suggestion for us for our improvement, or if you need any new information related to this topic, you can suggest us.